So my name is Laurence Oldham and I'm Game Director on Elite Dangerous. So Squadrons, obviously we've got a wonderful community, there's lots of people out there, and they can form groups, but we're looking at adding new tools to those groups where they can better manage and structure those groups, so having hierarchies in it, but we're also looking at adding better ways of them communicating, so communicating and talking within that group, which is obviously a very important thing in terms of the way that they can bring narrative, help their players get together, working on things like community goals, other activities that they want to do as a group. So it's a very positive thing, I think, to help grow and expand what we've already got, a great community. So it's a great thing, I think. So yet to be defined, but we're expecting it to be a relatively large number, not in the thousands. We don't expect, because it's still about the general groups, but it's really to be determined. So it's a bit like we've already got Canon, part of their CGs. Have got the Gnosis, which is being moved around the galaxy, and at the minute, obviously, we've got great people behind the scenes that actually are having to manually move it as it's moving around the galaxy. That's done by one of our kind of key community members, Steve Kirby, who does a lot of CGs and that sort of stuff, so he manually goes in there. Obviously we need to actually have a whole set of tools whereby people can work out where they want to go, what the rules are to do that, what the restrictions are behind it, so that we don't have massive traffic jams, all of those other things. So it's early days, but to us I think one of the key things is to have this focal location that they can kind of build around and work around, so that the community can kind of gather and group together. So I think it's a very important kind of and exciting addition that we're bringing there. So obviously in a sense it will let them move their home, so they can choose where potentially they're going to be wanting to be set up. That will obviously allow them to be able to rearm, refuel, so rather than having to maybe go back to their familiar stations, this will then become much more of their kind of centralized home. But the great thing is obviously that they can look at moving it around, yeah? So not as rapidly as a ship, of course, but they'll be able to kind of move it into different areas where they wanted to put and maintain their focus. So it's not that it isn't right, I think it's just that we need to put more richness into it. So what we're looking at is at the minute you can fly into an asteroid field, you can kind of pick stuff and you can mine it, but we want to get more processes in there, so more ways of looking for and finding out where's the best place to mine, what's the best thing to do. But to counter that, so it's not just simply we're making it easier, we need to add in more challenges. Yeah, so there's a risk-reward nature in there, and as Andy was mentioning earlier in the live stream, if you caught that, it's about this kind of Wild West mentality. And that's, you're kind of going out to the frontier, as it were, and there are serious jeopardy. There's things that might cause you damage or injury. You can get these things right and wrong, but if you get it right, you're going to get something amazing out of it. Rather than minute mining, it's a little bit, I go there, I get the stuff, I come back. There's not enough kind of processes, Danny was saying, so we're looking at building new processes. Obviously this is stuff that we're working out exactly how to do, and we're really excited to be engaging the community and working out and kind of going on the journey with them slightly to work out exactly where this is going and kind of discussing the options that we're looking at. So certainly one of the core things that we're doing at the minute is that, as Sandy was saying, the authorities are going to get more teeth. So obviously in anarchies, they're still anarchies, they're very dangerous, yeah? But in the high security areas, we're going to kind of have almost like SWAT response. So at the minute, people have spent ages building up massively engineered ships, which is great and very cool, but then the authorities aren't really strong enough to respond to that. Now obviously what we don't want to do is say all authority response is suddenly incredibly draconian, but what we do want to do is if you're sitting there in front of a starport, shooting away, they're going to kind of escalate the response to that to a stage where you're going to be in serious trouble and need to move on. But the galaxy is a huge place, there's lots of other places to move on to, but it kind of gives that more sense of geography. So rather than me just sitting there and saying, nothing can affect me, no, it's kind of give that consequence, as Andy says, it's giving teeth to the kind of the authoritative response that we can kind of put into these systems. So I can't go too much into technology because that's not exactly my area. However, what we've always been wanting to do is, so Galnet is one of the core areas that we're getting all this information out, and at the minute it's kind of buried in the wall of text, and you have to go there and you have to go read the text. So what we're doing is we're taking it out from the wall of text. You're going to be able to select the news reports and have them play actively in your cockpit as you're flying around. And obviously we're using some really nice technology, so it's clearly, I mean, listen to it, it's text-to-speech is getting better and better, but it's also a particular area where we're listening to, we feel it's the right mode for that kind of audio, yeah? So it's not going to be a massively emotional thing. It kind of is very good at delivering news reports and that sort of thing. So that's the kind of the area that we felt this technology where it sounds now really fits and can deliver an excellent quality and kind of uplift to the game in terms of the way that people can receive and process all the information that's kind of being presented to them.